That's a special event. Oh my goodness. Okay. Hi everybody. Damn, that's a lot of you. Okay. A bit of introduction about myself because we have a short amount of time for all this discussion, and unfortunately I won't be able to cover all of it, but I will do my best to do a little bits here and there. My name is Naz. I'm in the film industry since 2018. Moved to Canada in 2015 from Ukraine with a big dream to be in the film industry, and apparently it worked out, so which is good. And after school, George Brown College, when I finished the program, I did a little bit different departments like a sound, AD, directing, grip and lighting. And then one professor called me up for the key grip for a feature film independent, took it in as an opportunity and a challenge. And after that, word of mouth spread out and got into a union. And after a union, opened the Gripper Grip, my brand for the rigging. And as here I am right now, doing my best, teaching everybody as much as I can. For gripping, how many are here cinematographers? Okay, quite a lot. ACs? Okay, and grips? Come on. Okay, I got you. So, gripping-wise, rigging-wise, it's including all three departments, DP, AC, and grips as well. Generally, there's three main styles of rigging: is the vehicle rigging, object rigging, and body rigging. For vehicle rigging, we got like ATVs, cars, helicopters, planes, boats, you name it. For the object rigging, we got bottles and glasses, fans, hair trimmers, you call it as well. For that aspect, it works a bit different because you rig the object to the camera, not the camera to anything you want. And for the body rigging, we go with a POV helmet, snorri cam, elbow straps, knee straps with the 750 spigots, and you go from there. And for example, we have for object rigging. This is a rig for the bottle. That's where you put the camera on. We use 5/8 rods for it with the grip heads. And the beautiful part about this part is wherever you put the camera, you always need to keep in mind 3 or 4 aspects. It needs to be rigid, it needs to be adjustable, because as you know, every time, every day, any moment, DP is like, I want a bit left, I want a bit right, which is totally understandable, and you need to make it work for him. And also, it needs to be easy to use, which is, I would say it's pretty easy to use, right? So you put a camera, you have it, somebody grabs the ball, you walk with the camera, you got the object shoot. And also, the last one is, it needs to look cool, because you need to take a photo of it, right? Because for the grips, it's only like all of your portfolio is your Instagram and photos. Another option is for the sunglasses or reading glasses. Same thing. A very useful tool is the aluminum wire that you can actually use. We just tape it, special effects, or you can widen out the cable so you don't see it. Put the camera on top, 750 spigots, and here we go. You got a rig, a little one for the person to grab the glasses, put on, remove it, commercial for glasses, anything like that. Also, the other aspect is the car rigging. For car rigging, we use tools a bit differently. For car rigging, we use big suction cups, magnets, pipes, either 2-inch pipe or inch and a half, inch and a quarter. Also, we use pipe fittings, depends on the size of your pipe, as well as the hard 90s and swivel 90s, which are here. Also easy to use, nothing too complicated. With the suction cups, you always put a ratchet strap. That's kind of the main goal for it, because rule of thumb is you never trust your suction cups. Because as you can see, for example, here, if you can see, probably not, there's a red line. So whenever you see the red line, it means the suction is bad. So if the car is bumpy or there is a big turn or the car is speeding up, it can easily just come off with the camera itself. So why you put the ratchet strap? So just in case if the suction cup goes off, it won't fall. So the ratchet strap holds it tight to the door. That's kind of the thing for the car rigging. Also, for the car rigging, you can use the pipe starters. Also very useful tool. For example, if the car has the accessible frame underneath. You can put a bolt 3/8, it's all 3/8 together, and you just tie it underneath, and then you put a hard 90, and you can have extension pipe, and then you can go from underneath up and wherever you want it. It's actually more rigid rather than suction cups as well. What else? What else should tell? Objects as well for the bicycles. For the bicycle rigging, also quite simple thing. Never mind, tires are bad, but I borrowed from my brother. We use 5 1/8 rods. Also, you can use 3/8 if the DP wants narrow and smaller build, because they might see it in the frame and it's harder to VFX and all that. Cardi's grip heads, all standards. The most amazing tool I also found out, and it changed all my perspective, is the hose clamps. These guys, they are life-changing, because you can pretty much do any circular objects to the other circles or the flat ones, like we did with the bottle. You just throw the 3/8 bolt through it, and then you tie it together, and it holds pretty rigid. You can actually hold up and swing it, which is exactly one of those aspects. It needs to be rigid. And what else we use for the bikes? For the body mounts, that's a way different topic and way different workshop, because it's including the comfortable outfit for the actors, and also the camera needs to be way lighter compared to car mounts or objects, because it goes on a human being. So for the Snorri cam, you put, I would say, like Sony small one or Komodo you can put up. Same for the PoE helmet. And one thing with that, you actually need a prep day, just in case, because you never know what if the actor different aspects, like for example, actor is running or the outfit is different. So you also need to talk to our department and wardrobe to change up things, to hide the wires, hide the straps or anything. And yeah, that's kind of the general aspects of things. Any questions? Yeah.
Talking about the ratchet straps.
Yeah.
Have you ever not had it and it the camera fall on you?
That's a good question, actually. Blame myself for that. It never fell, but I had one moment that was almost. So the thing would happen between 3 suction cups, one of them was loose, and when we parked it, I did a little hit like that, and one suction cup came off. So also rule of thumb, you always need to have at least 3 points of contact for the rigging of the car. At least 3. Then you go with the camera that goes separate. That kind of thing. Thank you for a question. Anybody else? No, ratchet strap, it's extra safety just in case if anything comes loose. So whenever camera goes in, there will be a second, third suction cup that goes up. Any question? Yeah.
How do you test your rigs before you set them off?
Okay, how do I test it? If the rig is big, it goes like, for example, on a pickup truck, and we go with a black arm in front, stabilizer and everything. Rule of thumb for me, I always jump on the rig. Sounds funny, but actually it's the best test. You go in and you give a big hit on it. If it holds up, then you're good, because camera definitely won't be that heavy and that big. But if it's on the car or something like that, you just read the aspects, like you know the weight of the camera, you know the weight of the lens, of the package, and then all the tools, you also know the ratio for them. Like this suction cup can hold up to 80 kilograms. So you know exactly the camera won't be 80 kilos. If you use 2 of them, you are more than solid. That's kind of a thing. Anybody else? Yeah. This one's, you don't want to predominantly put a weight on it. This just as a support beam. So for example, you don't have any position to suction to the car because car is brand new. So you either use the plastic cover for the carpets and then you put a suction, but from my experience I found out most of the time it leaks air, so the suction cup doesn't really hold it. So you go from underneath the frame as a supporting beam from underneath. So you don't really put a lot of stress and weight on it because most of the weight will be on the windows, on the roof that holds the whole camera. This is just like the outstanding support beam, so you can go from it, like a starting point, pretty much. Thank you. Anybody else? Yep.
What's the heaviest camera you've ever rigged to the car?
Heaviest camera. I wouldn't say the camera was the heaviest. It was the combination with the Ronin. That's what I would say. It was the Sony Venice with the Ronin 2 on it. Or was it Ronin 2 or Movi? No, I think it was Ronin 2 with the isolation plate. And it was on the hood, so it wasn't too big of a challenge because it's all weight comes down. It's not side mounted, which is kind of saves the hassle. Anybody else? What else can I say? For tools, you know what? I didn't talk about tools. Most of the time, for rigging, you will use these two guys. It's a 316 E wrench and C wrench. Because for the 316, all the knobs and everything goes the same size. Same goes for the square frames that you use pretty much every single tool. For camera department is also pretty much the same size. And the C wrench is always to tie the bolts underneath, tie the bolts to the camera if you need. The most universal tool that we kind of use in our arsenal. Also use the spigots, 750s with a female side to it, to a male side, 3/8, 5/8, and you can rig it to the camera, do extra points if you need, go from here if you have the male side of it. The magic tool also for the rigging is the eye bolt. For example, used several times and it actually works amazingly. If the camera is heavy and big and DP wants to use it inside the vehicle as an easy rig, but he can't fit an easy rig inside. Probably all the cinematographers will agree with me because you can't really fit in there. But he wants to have the flexibility of moving right and left. So what you do is you put the eye bolt inside, on top of the handle of the camera, you throw the ratchet strap through it, inside, open the door, go over it, put a padding so it doesn't bend the frame of the car, and ratchet it. So in that case, the camera just hangs on the ratchet, on the bolt, and if DP wants to do like coverage of the driver, coverage of the passenger, he just slides the camera on the ratchet. If it's too low, you make it tighter, so the ratchet goes tighter, so the camera goes higher. If you want to lower, you just lose the ratchet strap. That's kind of a little life hack, figure out with this thing. Home Depot, everything Home Depot. For grips, Home Depot is your friend. Same as the hose clamps. For safetying the camera, you would use either climbing stuff, because I believe in the thing that if you trust your life for climbing to this, you would trust the camera with it, which is over $100,000. And yeah, so you use the infinity ropes, or the other thing you can use is the sling, English. If anybody can help me out with the gripping, daisy chain, exactly. So use the daisy chain. So you can rig the camera with the eye bolt, same thing, with the carabiner to it, and then you rig it to either point on top of the camera, side to the side of the rig. So if the camera falls off, the knob comes off, it doesn't drop fully down, so it saves it. That's kind of thing. Also, you can use it for the safetying the cinematographer whenever he's like, I need to do the shot from the trunk. I'm like, okay, we can do it. Just give me a moment. Yes. Yeah, you can also use it for run-in, for anything that you can mount it to. That's pretty much it. Also, the most universal thing, if you are looking into investing, cheese plates. This is the most useful thing that I found out for all the gripping, everything what I have. Cheese plates, different sizes, different shapes. Same as this guy. Same, different, everything. It helps you with different mounting points, and whenever you have a variety of cheese plates, the more universal you can be with the rigging and more versatile your rigs can be. Because the more versatile, the better it is, right? Because you're always changing it. Also, Cardollinis, pretty standard, and small Cardollinis, half 90s, also very useful. You can screw straight into the camera, as we have here. If the package is not too heavy, you can screw right into the cage of the camera, or just the ducktail or dog belt, wherever you want. And yeah, you can just hold it like that. Loosen up, you can tilt up and down wherever you want it. Right and left, what you would use is the other mounting point, because you always want to have the options to raise and low, swing the camera, and tilt the camera. That's kind of the aspects for it. If the rig doesn't require to be big enough, you can just put a leveling head, which works just exactly the same. But the thing with it is you can avoid doing this all aspects. You can just go with a straight pipe and use the bolts, bolt it into the leveling head, put it on, and then you just control the camera wherever you want. The only thing you will have is the up and down, pretty much. And what else? This thing. Have you guys went to a store shop by any chance, anytime, sooner or later? Other Grip, that's the guy, he manufactured this. He's a Canadian, I believe. First thing when I saw it, I'm like, it doesn't really benefit anything with the rigging. Like, what would you use it for? Actually, you can use it for any aspect you want, for object rigging, because it has a 750 receiver in here, and then it's all 3/8 receivers. The most often I used for it is actually helpful for the ACs as well. Inside the car, whenever you have the car rig or something, you want to have the director's monitor, the AC monitor, cinematographer gets in, everybody wants to see something. You put a C-stand in the middle, if it's a minivan or something, put it in, now you have all the mounting points. The only thing you need to do is pretty much put a 750 spigot with a male side into wherever position you want, magic arms, and you have one mounting point where you can do all octopus monitors, pretty much like that. And saves the space. Instead of like 2 C-stands, arms, pipes, everything, one little tool saves you everything. And the other thing, what else? Carabiners, pretty much, yeah, for safety stuff. Measuring tape, measuring all the time. Anything else? Oh, also a little life hack. Sometimes whenever you have the E range, it's about inch and a half height, and whenever you do the cheese plate, you have a very limited space between that it actually doesn't fit. So unfortunately, this is a regular Allen key. The one I have is in my toolkit. What I did is I just cut it like half of it, so it has like a little nub that actually just fits half of it. So whenever there's a tight space, I can just fit the little knob and tie up the knob, tie the screw if I need it. That's kind of a thing too. Anything else? Rods, aluminum rods, carbon fiber rods, wherever you want to use them. Both are rigid, durable, works perfectly. Different sizes. Most common is 5/8 that would you use. Sometimes you use 3/8 for most time for like product shoots. Whenever there's like a small thing that you need to rig it to, and cinematographer is like, oh, we're gonna be like very close to it, and everything needs to be very tight. If you're gonna use this guy, yeah, it's a short, but it's quite beefy compared to 3/8, which unfortunately I don't have it with me. That's kind of thing. For the hood mounts, this one. Whenever you do the hood mount, this is very useful piece of equipment called the leveling legs. What you do is you put the half 90 underneath, bolted through it, throw the pipes. You have 2 pieces of them. They stand side by side. You throw the pipes, and then you put a cheese plate on top. You can go higher, lower, angle it if you want it. The only thing you need is 2 ratchet straps with the hood hooks, like this, or like this. I would personally call for these guys because they do less damage to the car, and you need to have less worry about this. With these guys, you need to put a tape, some protection on the top of the car, just in case if it doesn't scratch, because it's still metal. But yeah, this is my tool to go, me personally, because it's safer and still works the same as this guy. And yeah, no suction cup needed, very fast, very easy to do it. And and another thing, this guy, I manufactured myself, so The great thing with the gripping is C-stands, we all know, they've been about 100 years in the world, we know all of them. And whenever something comes out new, it's very rare or actually never. So the best tool is to do is your brain and your creativity. I had a shoot with the pickup truck, and we didn't have any clamps or anything accessible to us. And the budget-wise as well, because it's indie, everybody trying to shoot as much as they can with a lower budget, totally understandable. We're trying to work the magic out. So what do? The pickup trucks, they have, on front of the bumper, they have half rings, like little tow hooks things, and they're all flatted. So what I did, I got 2 steel plates. I could go with the aluminum, but you always want to be extra precaution and extra safe. You go with the steel just in case. All 3/8 holes. So whenever I need something, I just, again, half 90 clamp, pop it in any direction, any side I want. I take off the bolts, take the top piece, put it on top of the tow hook, then underneath, and just sandwich it. And it works perfectly. Why I would say it works perfectly? Because when I built it, I jumped on that and it didn't break. So works perfectly for any occasion, any pickup truck, front, back, whatever you call it. What else? As I mentioned before, with the aluminum cables, also Home Depot for welding or just regular aluminum rigid wires. It's easy to move it around, easy to bend, holds the position quite strong actually. To cut it, also quite simple. Use your clippers, put it in, done. Easy, fast, quick, and works beautifully. Yeah, as I mentioned, Home Depot is your friend.
Do we have any questions? I know many of you probably want to get hands-on with some of this stuff, but just before we get hands-on, does anyone have questions that they want to ask Naz right now? All right, let's get hands-on with it. All right, the floor is going to be open. If you want to come up and see some of this stuff, come up, ask those questions, get hands-on. That is the goal of this. We are going to be starting our sound workshop on B stage right there. So if you're interested in learning the secrets to better sound, come join me and Kevin as we talk about that. And thank you again, Naz, very much. I appreciate it, buddy. This is incredible. This is incredible. Thanks, buddy.